I know, long time no see. But I decided I was going to make a video today and do my review, finally, on Starfall by W.A. Fulkerson. Now, this book was fantastic. I loved every single thing about it. This book has approximately 364 pages, and it was published on February 23rd, 2013. That's right, this year. Making this fresh off the presses. It's very new, and it was actually self-published by Mr. Fulkerson himself. I thought that the cover was absolutely beautiful. Once you read into the book, you'll understand what these stars mean. It has such beautiful font, and considering that it is a self-published book, I actually really do enjoy the cover of this book. Now, he has this little bending around the book, and in my opinion, that kept me from bending my spine as badly, so that was a very nice asset that I liked about it. Now, I'm going to give you a quick run through of the plot. If you want to know any more about this book, just go to my blogger and read my blog post. This book is about Ducassus and Malleus, two twin brothers who were raised in an ungifted family. An ungifted is a person who does not obtain their star before it goes out. In this world, every person has a star, and when it falls from the sky, if you do not get it in time, you will not get a special ability. But if you do get it in time, you will become a new species of your choice. So these two twin brothers have been taught by their father their entire lives that they need to go find their star, because being an ungifted, they are ruled over by the flares. Flares are one of the three species that the brothers could choose to be. Flares are very speedy, they're very fast, they have long, beautiful hair. That's pretty much it. And these flares take control over these ungifted, and they sell them out into slavery, and it is very sad. It's a very sad, tragic thing, but if they can find their star, they cannot be kept in slavery. So they decide that whenever their star falls, that they need to go on this epic journey. Now, that's all I can describe about the book without ruining anything for you, because it's an amazing book with a lot of twists. The other two types of species are the Lidsidorium, which I believe is how you pronounce it, I think, or the Hawkeye. The Hawkeyes can see major perception. Hawkeyes have an amazing sense of perception. They can see everything so much clearer. They hear and they feel, and all of their senses are heightened, and that's what I need in my life. This is honestly the species that I would choose to be, because considering I had no hand and eye coordination, this would help me out a lot. The third species is the nebula, depending upon the informal, formal speaking of it. And no, he does not outright tell you this. You have to pick it up on your own, which I think is really cool, because at first I was really confused. I was like, I thought he spelled it this way, but he's actually spelling it. It's the informal and formal speaking of the word. Just so you know. That way you don't get confused like I did. But the nebs are these over 7 feet tall, and they're brutally strong, and I mean, if you need a bodyguard, you need to get you a neb, because they're pretty beast mode. This book is going to be a part of a series, but how many, I'm not exactly sure. I do know that it's going to be a part of a series because on the last page it says end of book 1, which means there's going to be a book 2. And I'm excited about that because I want to see where their journey takes them. I want to see where they go into this world. And it ended on such a cliffhanger. I don't want to say like a major cliffhanger, but it did end at a point that makes me curious about where they're going to end up. Now let's talk about the plot. The plot at the beginning absolutely captivated me, and I was rooting for these two young boys to leave slavery. But as the story progressed, I sort of kind of lost that captivation. I mean, there was interesting twists happening, but I wasn't falling in love with it like I was in the beginning. It was slowing down for me. I felt like there was too much sleeping and too much walking and not enough physical training, which is something Ducassus would probably agree with me on. But I don't know, it was sort of slow for me at some points, but it did build up towards the end, and it was amazing. Number 2, the vocabulary towards the beginning, for me, was rather big. And I mean, if you like big vocabulary, that's good for you. And I mean, I liked it, because I learned so many words that I didn't know. And it did come off as quite a lot of vocabulary at once, but as the story progressed, it became more natural to me. Much more natural. He did a phenomenal job for his first novel. So good. And I do want to applaud Mr. Fulkerson for attempting to do a type of romance in this story. And it was sweet. But I felt like he talked about her hair. A lot. A lot. But she does have pretty hair, apparently. Very pretty. Sounds like a very pretty color. I'm only going to talk about the two twin brothers on my character review, but if you want to read about more of the characters, go to my blogger, because I don't want to make this video too outrageously long, because it's so hard to watch long videos, guys. I know. Now, Ducassus is pretty much the main protagonist of the whole story. But there are certain aspects of his character that I didn't like. He felt overly sensitive to me. there was some ways and some actions that he chose to do or some thoughts that he had that I didn't agree with. But that's not bad, because that means that his character was developed enough for me to have an opinion like that of him. I didn't fall in love with his character, but I fell in love with his development. He really went a long way, and towards the end of the book, he really starts to prove himself more to me. But at the beginning of the book, he is pretty naive, and I don't take him as seriously, which is probably how it was meant to be written. But his brother Malleus, on the other hand, is very strong and witty, and I love him. I probably shouldn't, but I love him. And he thinks things through, and he's very inquisitive, and if anybody has the most character development in this book, it would have to be Malleus. And you'd have to read to understand why, because I'm not ruining anything for you guys. Overall, I would rate this book about 4 stars, 4.2. I loved this book. It was so amazing. This book was so fantastic to me and so captivating. I love the world that he created and the creativity that he put into his ideas and how he delivered them. And I know that as he continues to write, his writing will improve. But for his first novel, I was so shocked. I was so surprised, and he did such a phenomenal job. Guys, I would recommend this to anybody. It was so, so good. Thank you, Mr. Fulkerson, for sending me this book. It was such an enjoyable experience, and I do see myself rereading it in the future. Thank you again. So guys, that ends my review, and I will probably be posting another video maybe on Tuesday for a new viewer's choice. I still need to read Cinder. I've been super busy. But I'm going to start it soon, and I'm going to try to read it with Sandra from Sandra Reads. Yeah. Thank you guys so much, and thank you for putting up with the long time periods in between my videos. And I also want to thank you for, I hit over 700 subscribers. I'm like, my brain, it just melted and came out of my ears, and I had to clean it up with a rag because I was in so much shock. I have no brain. It's gone. It melted. Thank you guys so much for all that you do. Thank you for supporting me and listening to me and being the most amazing subscribers on YouTube. Thank you for all that you do. I hope that you guys have a fantastic day. Thank you so much. Bye, lovelies. Girlfriend, I don't think you're gonna fit. Are you satisfied now?